Welcome to the Headley Highlight Show's Uplifting Corner. This week in the Uplifting Corner, before I jump into this week's Uplifting Corner, can I just say thank you to everyone who's been coming to my show, listening on a regular basis and supporting me throughout the 3 years, and also to all the new subscribers on my YouTube channel, which is denisehedley.com. I'm trying to get to 1,500 subscribers. I've already got 1,662 subscribers. So maybe you'd like to be the 1,180th. That would be fabulous. So please do jump all over the YouTube. Also, please visit my website, which is denisehedley.com, where you can make a donation for this fabulous and authentic content, free from the shackles of legacy and corporate media. You can buy me free wings and chips and a Miranda at my local chicken shop, or you can sponsor me to get, rice and peas, chicken, fish, tilapia, a cake from my local Caribbean shop. Or you might want to suggest that I have some food from your native country, which I haven't tried yet, and you'd like to sponsor that for me. I'd most appreciate that also. Thank you so much. I also take cryptocurrency and fiat money at my website. So let's jump into this week's Uplifting Corner. My show often covers matters that deserve serious discussion, but in life we always need light as well as darkness. So here is this week's contribution. It's a piece of scientific news, and this item caught my interest because it questions conventional thinking, and I like things that question the convention. When we think of living creatures on the earth, we tend to think of life on the surface of the land or in the oceans. But there is life under the land and in the oceans. A group of scientists decided to discover the extent of life on this planet and collected samples from more than 50 locations, including caves, deep sea vents, mines, and aquifilters. Their findings were published in a journal called Science Advances. They discovered an astonishing variety of microbes that can survive in extreme conditions as deep as 4.3 kilometers below land and 491 meters below the ocean floor. They endure extreme pressure, high temperatures, and limited nutrients. Instead, they rely on energy from chemical reactions involving hydrogen, methane, and sulfur. Some of the microbes even use radiation as an energy source. One of the most surprising discoveries was how diverse these underground life forms really are. Scientists expected fewer species in such harsh environments. Instead, they found an incredible variety of microbes. In total, they identified 31,000 unique groups of primitive single-cell organisms and more than 377,000 types of bacteria. Some underground environments were as rich as life in the tropics of forests or on coral reefs. Just think about that for a moment. In your own world, in your own environment, what microbes live in those environments that we just don't really understand or even know are there? A whole ecosystem right there, potentially under your feet. Time moves differently for these organisms. Without much energy, they grow and reproduce at incredibly slow paces. Some bacteria divide only once every 1,000 years. Can you imagine if that was a life cycle of procreation for humans? Their entire metabolism is designed for efficiency. This unique adaptation could offer insights into aging and survival strategies. These discoveries raise interesting questions about life beyond Earth. If microbes can thrive deep below our planet's surface, the same could be true on other worlds. Perhaps the first alien life we discover on another planet will only be visible to us through a microscope. When I was researching this and I came across this interesting piece of news, it made me hark back to a book review that I'd seen. And in that book review, a professor chap wrote a book called The Stoned Monkey. And after a quick Amazon search, I've come across a list of titles, not the one I was looking for, and it talks about psychedelic apes. And one of the ideas I've heard suggested is that if I were an alien species, I would travel here as a molecule, maybe a water molecule in a meteor, and then I'd be deposited wherever I land. And then I'd be able to integrate into the environment because the water will be absorbed into that environment. And that is the theory of fungus and mushrooms. There are so many of them, and mushrooms have a psychedelic or hallucinogen quality called psilocybin. And the argument is these tiny microbes influenced early primates so that they became more self-aware, and there's arguments put forward that the primate brain grew during a particular period when there was lush vegetation and lots of fungus, and the impact of that fungus was the advancement of the species. So when I picked up on this piece for the Uplifting Corner, it put my mind into that kind of place where I'd heard the people discussing this whole idea and this theory, because they were talking about microbes and the minutiae and how small things are and how things work at a very different pace. And therefore, if you were trying to, travel long distances, you'll need a long gestation period. You'll need to be able to acclimatize to an environment. It could take a lot of time. And that was really at the molecular level how these things could possibly have occurred and could possibly have impacted on human life. So I do hope you enjoyed my anecdotal story in addition to my other story about microbes, and it gives you food for thought. Don't forget to jump over to my YouTube at denisehedley.com, or go and make a donation at denisehedley.com, which is my namesake, which is also my website. Thank you for your listening ear, and see you next week, and cut!